Welcome to the Safety Third podcast. Today we have two very special guests. One is, for the audio listeners, Scarlett Johansson.
That's not me.
And for the video viewers, it's Caretaker. And Jabril's.
Neutron stop.
And then your regular boring hosts.
Yeah, just me
Kevin
and Kevin.
And Alan. You know, somebody sent me an email and they said, it would be nice if you told us who was on the podcast that day because the audio listeners have no idea who they're listening to.
Oh, what a burn.
Dude, it's so funny, like, learning how to do a podcast because, like, I don't know, I've never done anything like this before. Well, we did a live show, but that was a hot mess.
Disaster.
I mean, it's hard. It's really hard. The podcast is easier than a live show. And you don't really realize things that you do if they're good or bad. And we've done a lot of bad. On this podcast, and people have not been afraid to complain about it.
You know, like how Elon Musk tweeted out all that stuff and he said, you know, like the SEC had to monitor his every tweet. Is that like what Caretaker's doing right now? She's like the censor.
I use Chelsea as like a filter sometimes.
Wait, Chelsea?
I try to. You know, sometimes
I thought it was Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
You
Scarlett
fooled me.
Johansson.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson keeps you in line.
I just don't want for him to be in like serious trouble. Also, I don't want anything that he does to affect me and my life.
Which one is first, though? Which one is first?
William, because he's stupid sometimes and could say things that could, potentially get him in trouble.
Keeping it PC for the podcast. I like it.
So, Jabril, I think we should talk about some things that people probably don't know.
All right.
Number one being that we lived together for like 4 months.
Technically, I was babysitting your property, so.
I mean, it's not my property. We were renting it.
I
when we were
stayed over.
subleasing.
Groundskeeper.
I stayed over at Will's place. I didn't even know you lived there for a couple days.
Yeah, you disappeared for like a week. Why? I remember that. You were like trying to finish a game so that everyone could play it, and then you didn't finish it, and everyone was gone.
Yeah, I had some really big brain moments during those periods. Some really big brain moments.
It's because you go to bed really late.
Yeah, I lived the coder's life, but I'm trying to work on that. I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to every single night go to sleep at like 4 a.m, just because that was the time.
Jesus.
That was the time that I had to myself.
What do you mean by kid?
Like
15?
Like age 12 to about like 16.
Oh, God.
Your parents
That
let
was
you go to bed at 4 a.m.?
They didn't like it. So the reason I went to bed at 4 is because my dad went to work at 5. So.
So he would
Oh
know.
So that way he would know.
Yep. But that was the time I had to myself.
Sleeping in bed.
And at that time as well, we had one computer to the entire family, and I wanted to learn how to code.
Yeah.
So I did what I had to do, but it's became a habit to this point where like I feel the most optimal when like the sun is about to rise.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, because like we'd be doing stuff and like Rita Mae would be awake and they'd be like, oh yeah, no, he's not human yet. And I'd be like, well, when will he be? And she's like, oh, it's not yet.
Rita Mae is. Do you talk about Rita Mae at all?
Yeah, why not? It's my girlfriend.
Jabril's girlfriend.
Rita Mae is my
Real
girlfriend.
Scarlett Johansson.
Neutron. Stop.
No, let Jimmy have fun. He's digging in the trash can.
Wait, we need a
so-
Neutron cameo, a quick one.
Well, right now I just yelled at
next
him
time
and
he's over
kicked
here,
him.
just, like,
No, I didn't actually kick him. I just like shoot him.
So Jabril does a lot of like programming. You're all self-taught.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that also means sitting in front of a computer a lot, right?
Yes.
I notice myself, and I've read this on Reddit a little bit.
Oh, there's a cat. If you can't see this, there's like someone put a cat on
Oh
Jabril.
my
Meow.
god!
So
Who is
Rita Mae
that?
brought in
Wow.
her prized
that-
possession.
Is that the cat that tries to get peed on?
Yes, not tries to. Actively does get peed on.
Successfully gets peed on.
Like
what?
goes.
Oh, like the toilet, like jumps up in the
Such
toilet.
An angel.
So-
I can see that there's remaining yellow stains on his face.
Yeah,
have
that's
to
a
figure
white
out the
cat.
phone
I'm
number.
surprised it's not more yellow.
So
must
I don't know.
stay
This cat is weird. I swear this cat is a dog. It has so many behaviors like a dog, and I
My kind of
pee.
cat.
I pee, and he sneaks up behind me, and he just jumps into the toilet without me seeing anything. So I have to like piss on the wall to avoid the cat, and it's a goddamn mess.
So you do a lot of like programming, and you sit on a computer a lot. I've noticed, and I've read online, other people having the same feelings that like I have a hard time working on stuff during the day, but when it gets closer and closer to like when I know I should go to bed, I start almost like getting this flush of motivation, like panicking that I haven't gotten any work done, and all of a sudden I want to like work on something. Like why would like it just
that happens to me at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's
Whoa,
like I've been awake
whoa,
I haven't
reasonable.
done anything.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable
What are you
time
talking
to
about?
start working.
I mean,
That's
I've been
normal.
awake since
William
like,
gets it.
8 o'clock. What have I done for the first 8 hours of the day? Not
Right after I'm done with lunch, I start panicking.
And lunch is at 4 p.m. for you?
Actually.
Because after having lived with Michael for over a year and getting frustrated with his sleep schedule, Jabril had like almost an identical sleep schedule. And I was like, what the hell? Like, why are you going to bed so late?
You
He
voiced
didn't wake
that,
you
yeah.
up though from
No.
Like I could sleep
Jabril was
through
a
the
better
night.
roommate than Michael because he'd play games and he would scream.
Damn.
He would scream so loud. I can't believe the police never showed up to any of the houses.
Oh,
really.
Take that,
Yeah.
Michael.
Did I talk about this in any of the other ones? We had the oh god, in Oxnard, where like the first house that we lived together, he'd leave the screen door open. The window would be open in
Like
his
for the
office.
patio or
He would-
something.
Was it hot?
No patio. It was just like
He was on the second floor.
Was it
and
hot?
had
It was
the-
hot.
It was kind of hot,
Yeah.
but it was hot. But he literally never closed it, right? So it was always open, and he'd play games at like 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and you could just hear his voice just echoing down the neighborhood,
Like it sounded like he was right next to you.
like this shrill
funny.
shrieking.
Coming from the room with
Scary.
like RGB lights coming from it at
Yeah.
night, just like
Yeah.
super bright
I
neon lights.
I started sleeping with earplugs because of Michael.
Damn.
But Jabril would stay up late, but I didn't have to wear earplugs because of Jabril.
Yeah.
I was concerned about the creaks because that place creaked like hell, dude.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Like especially with the earplugs, dude. Creaks are nothing compared to screaming.
Fair enough.
And then we were looking to get a place. We were gonna rent another place with you in LA, and then that just fell through during COVID.
Yep.
COVID.
Kinda
I
fun.
lost a year. Like I was filling out a date earlier and I put 2020. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's 2021. What happened to 2020? It was gone.
I know.
I think everyone should be allowed to retroactively be 1 year younger, right? Because Will, you turned 30 this year,
You're
right?
right.
I feel like you were
No,
robbed a
let's
little
not
bit.
talk about that.
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah,
to.
William turned 30.
I think
Well,
I know
think you
someone in
should still be
Kevin's life agrees
29.
with that sentence, though. Alan.
Well, I wanted to ask you a
I'm-
question. Are you
Yeah.
are you upset that I basically prevented you from pulling the trigger on that first location, like the fucking long
No.
one?
No.
No, I'm not mad at all. Do you think I was mad? Why would I be
No,
mad?
no. I just asked the question. I was just curious what your thoughts were.
Oh,
Those,
no.
those people were weird, and it would have been it wouldn't have been like a good location, I think, long term. And the people were super weird.
Do we want to talk about that at all? Because that was pretty.
Yeah, what
that was an
happened?
experience.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
talk
I'm
about
not.
it. I gotta
I'm
plug in my
talking
camera.
about
Hold on.
I'm talking about the place before that, the long one, the long situated one.
Wait, what do you
The
mean?
one that had like the weird corridor.
Yeah, with the garage.
It was like
still
the one
separated.
that's close to the grocery store.
Yep.
We drive like when we're going to David's, we drive past it.
We turned
the
it
one we
down.
applied to?
We applied,
Yeah,
turned
we
it down
applied
in like
to-
a day
Yeah,
after
yeah,
it was
yeah.
off
Oh.
the market.
Yeah. That is that the one where we got mad at them?
No, I don't
I
think
got
so.
mad.
No.
That was the one
Oh.
you really wanted. That one. You really wanted that one.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah,
Right.
nah, this ain't it. And then we. Good.
I kind of want to talk about the one where I don't know if it's too much though, where they did the background check after we showed up in person. Do we want to say that or no?
I don't care.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It was
Why
really
not?
bad.
As long as you're not saying names.
Did I ever tell you about that?
Was
Okay,
there?
okay,
Did
okay.
somebody? Was there
So
a racial profiling? Did somebody racially profile you, Will, for being white?
No, it wasn't me. It was Jabril.
What?
So bad.
But I don't. Here's the thing. They were so adamant. I'll tell you what happened. Or do you want to say what happened, Jabril? Or do you want me to say what happened?
I want to hear your side first, and then I'll add on.
Ooh, be careful, Will. Tread carefully.
I
Okay.
could tell you.
So there's a house in Sherman Oaks in LA that we were looking at, and it was like, this is cool. Like, we want to, we're going to try to continue, living together, because it's doing YouTube stuff. You just lose your mind living by yourself, like being the only YouTuber, because it's kind of nice to have coworkers. I operate really well in an environment with people who are doing the same thing. And we find this house, we do a tour of it with this, realtor, but there's no one else, there's no one living it or anything. So it's just our realtor who knows us.
And we did a tour, meaning who? You
and me and Jabril.
And
Jabril.
Yeah, it was the three of
So
us.
we like it, and we decide to apply for it. And then the owners wanted to meet us. And so, or maybe we went on a second tour. I don't really remember. So we go back a second time a couple weeks later after we do the application and pay the fees.
David the first time. He was our...
Okay, yeah. So we did all the credit checks and everything. And it's me, it's Chelsea, Jabril, and I. We show up, and the owners are there, and the owner's realtor is there. And then it goes really well, and then the first email we get back is basically saying, we need criminal history reports.
Oh no.
What?
Oh
Wow.
no.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was livid. I was so pissed off. I called our realtor and I was like, this has to be the worst thing I've ever seen in any of our house hunting, because we rented a couple places
Because everything was good to go. Everything was good to go, and then it was we forgot to do this 2 steps ago.
We passed the credit checks. We passed we had a letter that we
I've
wrote.
never
to,
heard of
explain
being
what we do.
a criminal background check. I've never heard that before.
And you're talking about both of us. We both passed credit background.
Yeah,
checks.
everybody. All three of us. All three of us passed all of it. And then they meet us in person.
Because we were all going to have our name on it, so
Right.
it was everyone involved. Yeah.
Dude, they sent they sent this whole thing too of trying to timestamp emails and stuff, and what they claim, which is I'm inclined to believe them. I don't think anyone's I don't know. They said that it was expected from the beginning, and it just must not have been done. And here's proof that we had asked for it before we had ever met you. And so, who knows? It looked so bad. It looked so bad, and I was so upset with them. And so we ended up just bailing on the house.
You forgot out a really important piece of information. You forgot that after we got the tour, they informed us that there was previous mold and a squatter.
Oh, a
That's
squatter
right.
too.
It
little
was a squatter
gremlin.
with her daughter too.
Yep.
It was a woman with her child living. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And they're
that was
worried
the-
about your
yeah.
criminal history, and they've
And
got
they
a
were
little
worried, yeah.
gremlin living in there.
Dude, it made me so mad.
And there was serious there was serious mold problem. Yeah, it was really bad. We dodged a bullet on that one.
Yikes.
The squatter
Big
is
yikes.
actually evolved from a single cell organism from the beginning, from the
Yeah.
from the
Oh
walls.
yeah, the mold became a humanoid person.
So
It's
Yeah,
not a
I guess
person; it's a
that's-
sentient fungus.
the mold said, "I grew up here. This is
have-
my house."
We have no jurisdiction. So
Yeah, so we almost lived. Jabril and I almost lived with each other even longer than for would have been another year.
Yeah, because that was pretty early in quarantine.
Yeah, that was
June.
the end of. That was after Michael moved out. I was
And
like,
that was
oh,
after
Jabril,
we
you want to live here?
recovered. Yeah.
It was June 2020.
June.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'd already. I'm I remember I had antibodies at that point.
Now let me ask you.
Renting-
Let's say we did do it, and the status of the world now. How would you have felt about that investment?
Yeah, I think it would have been fine.
Fair enough.
I'm not. Here's I don't know what I'm doing. Do you guys know what you're doing?
Oh, I know
No.
exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
I just have a lot of feelings, and I come up with ideas, and I'm like, maybe this idea matches this feeling. We should get a house.
I don't
Rent a
even
house
know
in
what I'm
LA.
going to do for next video.
Yeah,
Come on,
I wake up
Yeah.
every morning and I'm astounded that I'm still alive. That's
Dude, I wake up every
I'm
morning.
astounded that you're alive
Take
too.
a shit.
Alan.
Yeah, like Alan.
I wake up, I take a shit, I get out of
You
bed.
can't say that.
Why can I say that?
It's a bad
No,
word.
this is a podcast.
It's a bad word.
No, you can say.
yeah,
you
shit's
can say
in
the
Marvel
S word on the
movies.
podcast.
You're allowed to say
let
shit
loose.
like
Chelsea, let
3
loose.
times. And that's
Say
it.
one. Come on, get it out.
Get,
Doo-doo face.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
teacher Chelsea
that.
could never.
It's them teacher words.
bad teacher.
Yeah, that's what you missed out on online learning. You could have been a special guest star in online learning, Jabril.
Say what? I missed out? What? Why didn't you invite me?
If we would have lived together. Online
Oh.
learning. But the problem is I would be teaching at 8 in the morning, so you would have been awake.
I
You would have been
mean,
getting ready for bed.
I can give me a cup of coffee, but any kids give me lip, I'm gonna fight a kid. I'm just saying. All right.
Jabril, have you ever looked up
coding in
what?
Minecraft.
Have you ever looked up what time zone you actually live in? Like, if you line up like what hours you go to bed and when you wake up, like what country you're actually in right now?
That is so funny. I think I did that for Michael.
What was it?
And he's like,
It was like
Tanzania or
European
something.
time.
He's like,
Yo,
So like
that's-
what normally say like wake up at 8 or like go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night or something, or 11.
That's an interesting video concept. What if I move there and see if anything changes?
No, you would
be on
definitely
American
still
time.
get messed up. What you should
Yeah.
do is set up like a monitor, like it's a window with a live stream to that country, so that you wake up and
Nice.
it'll be at the right time in that window.
Like your circadian rhythm is on point.
Oh,
I have a question for you, Jabril.
Yeah.
How often do you leave your room?
Lately, it's been more. But at the height, dude, I like never left. I sat here. Yeah, but lately it's
But
been a
you
bit
exercise. Like, you go on runs a lot.
more. I used to go
anymore.
on runs a lot more. I bought a treadmill, so I'm still in this room.
Yeah.
So Jabril, Alan's describing you as kind of an athlete. Did you do any sports growing up?
Yeah, I did a lot of. Well, I won't say I did a lot of sports. I played a lot of sports.
That counts.
I played sports every day when I was younger. I played basketball. I did a little football. Only flag football. I was too much of a wimp to play actual tackle football. Dude, I was like
good.
I was like 112 in high school. I was super skinny. 112, like 5'9", 5'10". So
Oh my god.
What?
yeah, I was.
That's
skinny.
like anorexic.
I was skinny. There was nothing I could do to gain weight back when I was younger. So
Is your dad like that too?
That's how my dad was growing up.
That's how I
my
was
brother.
too. I think that's normal. That's like normal for teenagers.
I don't know.
to
Have
be
you
super
tried
strict.
drinking a
teenage
gallon
boys,
of milk
yeah.
a day? If you drink a gallon of milk a day, I think that would do it.
Who wants to drink a gallon of milk?
yeah,
I can drink
I
a gallon
don't-
of milk in 3 minutes.
Your mom loves milk.
Somewhere
actually. She
Nigel's
probably
hair,
could.
wherever his hair just stood up on the back
Yeah.
of his neck.
So did you so you didn't like sports, you just played for fun? I mean, it kind of like you're kind of a nerd.
yeah. So I played sports for fun
So was
because
everyone
I
here.
was a nerd and I needed friends.
Yeah.
So
So this wasn't like your parents signing you up for sports. This was like on your own.
yeah. My mom would not let me play football because I was way too skinny. Way too skinny.
What
So.
Well, that's a good call. So you also don't have like concussions and.
what did you do when you were younger, like nerd wise? You said you're trying to learn programming and stuff on your own.
Yeah, so at the age, I think it was either 12 or 13, I first started to learn how to code using this little software called Game Maker. And I made like these really shitty games. And I will never forget, I made this game I was incredibly proud of. It was a racing game. And I brought it to school. And I showed all my friends on the computer. And they fucking dogged me, man. They went on like a 3-hour
What?
roast on this game that I made.
Why? Wait, what? Why?
It's not that kind of school. Like this school that I went to, it's like it's kind of in the hood, you know what I mean? Like a lot of gangsters, like a lot of people that play sports, and so they're used to playing like Call of Duty, like the top tier AAA games, Grand Theft Auto, and then here I come with this like shitty little homemade game.
Oh,
And
no.
dude,
When was it, like 2005, 2008?
like 6. I was freshman, sophomore, yeah, 2006.
Yeah, that'd be
Are
like
you sure?
2006.
That blows my mind because I feel like if anybody at our school had like made a game, like people their minds would have been blown. Like even if it was total dog shit, like people would have been ecstatic. With like, oh my god, like you made this.
We went to a super nerdy school, William.
That might be the
I don't know, I
case.
just feel
did.
like I feel like Flash games.
Our
though,
mascot
were
was a
so-
dragon.
Yeah, I feel like that's when flash games
Nerds.
and stuff were super popular.
Let me
Like
say
every
this.
time
Let
you
me
had
say
a
this.
computer class, you'd be on like addictinggames.com or something if you could.
My high school
Cool
had
math
had
games.
legit
Cool math
race
games.
wars. We had race wars.
Race.
We
Like
had the Latins
race-
versus the blacks. Like this is the school
Like-
I went to.
What was the score?
Who won?
I don't know.
Who won the
I
race?
stayed out of it. I stayed out of it, but they some really.
Our school had a fight with a keyboard being used as a weapon.
Our high school.
No, wait. How did they do these race wars? Like, what?
Yeah,
when you say
we need to talk
race
more about the
war,
race wars.
like, what do you mean race war? Like,
So
Does someone just scream race war?
race war. Because in my
Do
school
you
we
guys
called that
not
a food
remember
fight.
middle school
Yo,
and the
food
fights
fight.
happening?
I don't remember a race war though.
So
yeah,
my
we never
understanding,
like a race thing.
so from my understanding, there was like some really serious gang stuff happening in LA back in like the mid 2000s. And I guess people that had relatives in like the Latin gangs and the black gangs in LA, where it spilled over down to here. So like, because that was happening in LA, they'll instantly like, oh, we don't like black people, we don't like Mexican people. So after school, what happened, you see like a horde of like 30 kids going to the park just to like squab,
Yeah.
and they
In
would
San
all just
Diego.
start breaking down and fight.
Yeah.
And they
Fight
would do
Club.
it really quick. They do it really quick because the cops were
Yeah.
always on it, and they would just like scatter. Like it was a mess.
That happened in
It
our
was a
middle
mess.
school.
That's
But
kinda
it was
feels-
girls only. It was never boys. It was girls, and there would be just like a huge posse. And then it would be like, bam, bam,
Girls
broke a
with huge
girl's nose,
posse?
walk away.
It just kind of feels like teenager things, and like the only way they knew how to pick teams was just like, I don't know, what
Well,
if we just do
and
race?
no one
Yeah.
recorded anything on the phones either, so everyone got away with it.
They just wanted to fight, and it was convenient.
You're right.
Yeah.
But
no one filmed it.
Yo, let me say it was really sad because there's a lot of kids that I went to middle school with, and like a lot of us went to the same high school. And due to this race war, like there were Latin friends I had just stopped talking to me. Like they would refuse to talk to me due to this. And
Wow,
it was
so
like
it was like
fucking
more. It
sad,
was like
dude.
deeper.
It was. I
Wow.
mean, it was a bunch of people that didn't really understand what the hell was going on. They just had family that just told them what to do. But
Kids
Told
are
them what to do. Yeah.
but,
Wasn't this the
Well, and
plot
that's like
of
an
West
age
Side
where like you just
Story?
want to fit in too. You don't want to rock the boat and like say something that makes you look uncool.
Wow. Sounds like very exciting.
William, did you ever
Right.
get beat up?
No, I never really gotten any fights, just with friends, but never. No one's ever given me like a black eye or anything.
I
I've
just
gotten-
find
I've
that
gotten punched
surprising
a
that no
couple
one ever beat
times.
you up.
Really? What'd
Who
you do?
punched you, Kevin?
It was on, you know what? It was on the bus. And it was, somebody was like, they were just, it was like, they might have been a year or two older than me. They were just kind of a bully. They would always like talk shit to me when I was like sitting down in the bus for some reason. And I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, this kid keeps making fun of me. What do I do? And he said, next time he says that you're stupid or ugly, just say, yeah, well, I might be stupid or ugly, but at least I'm smart. And like, that was my dad. That's what he told me to say. So I said this to the kid. He was making fun of me.
That'll
I said this
show
to
the
the
bully.
kid.
Oh no!
He turns around. He just
stupid,
punched
but
me in the
at least I'm
face.
smart.
He punched me in the face and
Dude.
got off the bus. And I go home. I'm like, what the hell?
Wait, do you know who
Yo.
he is? Let's
Dad,
fuck
you
him
gave
up.
me
Sounds like your
bad
dad
advice.
needs to be. Your dad's gonna get bullied too.
you
know
gotta
this
put
kid's
that
name?
on a
Let's
t-shirt.
Dad
beat this kid
advice.
up.
You gotta put that on a t-shirt, Kevin.
That is such dad advice. That is like
is.
exactly.
Like spit in his mouth, son.
He'll really like it.
Just drink a gallon of milk and vomit all over him.
And then
Dude,
another
no one
yeah.
would ever bully you again if
Well-
they knew that you would actually go to the lengths to drink a gallon of milk just to vomit. on the
Wait,
bus.
actually,
good
you
advice,
got bullied
actually.
in elementary school, and your sister punched a kid for you, but she was
No, I
like
think
in
this was,
kindergarten.
this was like preschool.
Yeah, but the point is that your sister punched someone.
You should have screamed.
Not you.
At least I have the power of math and science on my side.
That's exactly.
So you're kind of you're self-taught programmer, Jabril. You didn't go to school for programming. What did you go to school for?
Yeah, so I went to community college and made a lot of mistakes. I initially went for film and communications, which is basically a communications degree, but they weren't teaching me anything. I was in there for a year and a half. I was like, what the hell is the point? Like, we're literally just sitting down watching films for a whole semester, and I'm like, this is not valuable at all. So I dropped out and started to go back for biology, but then I ran out of like federal aid money. I was like, fuck this. I never went back.
Dude, that's so frustrating.
Biology
there's
does
like
that to
nothing
people.
dumber. Yeah, there's nothing dumber than like a kid who's like trying to do something and then it's like, oh, I can't pay for it anymore. Like Jesus Christ, that's the hardest part is to get the kid to want to do something.
I know.
Yeah.
Paying for it's easy.
Was programming easier back in the day? Because as a non-programmer, I feel like it's gotten so much more complicated now. Like so many different languages to learn. And I feel like back in the day, it was like simpler. Am I wrong?
We coded on MySpace, bro.
Exactly. Like I can do HTML.
like HTML stuff, like
So-
making your
Yeah.
text
to make your
italic.
background like have hearts.
But none of the community college stuff was programming. How did you get into programming?
I started way before I even went to high school. At age 13,
Yeah,
I
you
was...
said middle school and high school.
Why didn't you do that? Why did you try to do something else?
Well, I'm glad you asked this because you just reminded me of a memory. So I have a horror story that I have to share with the educational industrial complex.
Worse than race war?
Worse than race war, actually.
Wow. This is
Chelsea.
really
Worse than
bad.
school race.
Chelsea, you might want to cover your ears for this one. So
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm going to make this short. I knew as soon as I hit a senior, I knew I wanted to do like programming of some sort when I graduated. I knew it meant math. I was good at math. I took pre-calculus as a junior in high school. That was the highest that my school offered, and I was ready to like go straight into calculus. In fact, I took pre-calculus as an elective, and my principal brought me into the office and begged me to take this as an elective. And she promised me that if I take it as an elective, which I didn't have to fucking do, I would go straight into calculus in college. Okay, take this class, I pass it with like a B+. And then they make me take a standardized test to place me for college. I take this test and I do really bad, and guess what? They tell me I have to go all the way back to middle school math before I can take
Algebra?
What?
any
Pre-algebra?
college pre-algebra. I have to go back.
What?
I have to do like 2
Was your
semesters.
school accredited?
I don't know. But-
Oh my god.
So they're telling me I have to
Dude.
take 2 full semesters of all these various classes where I can start getting college credits if I want to start doing programming. And I'm like, what is the point? Like, that's an extra 2
That's
years at community
insane.
college. So I do the film thing, and so.
That's the only
That's
reason
awful.
I think a kid should take AP classes, like especially calc. Like if you're going to college and you're gonna do something that requires you to take calculus, take AP calculus. I cannot, like, you need to pass that.
Or not even. A lot of colleges, they have like placement tests where you can like take a normal test and just get the credits for the class. It's like a normal.
I would just take AP though, because then you don't have to think about it at all. Like, just take the AP class. You're probably gonna learn more stuff in your high school class than you go to college class
But
anyway.
Yeah.
but for people in Jabril's situation, that like you can, and a lot of colleges just take like your general chemistry requirements. Like if you're good at chemistry or good at math, you can just take those tests and place out of those classes, so you don't have ever have to take them.
My gripe is the placement test. I don't agree with them. I'm terrible at like testing. Like, if you were to like sit me down and like have me explain the concept of why, or how to solve like a parabola, like I can do that for you. But I don't know, testing, I think it's just a terrible way to like try and figure out someone's
Testing
performance.
is such a bad way to show what anyone knows, especially kids. Testing is awful.
Yeah.
The good thing with like the pandemic though is like finally a bunch of organizations are actually like acknowledging that. First off, that like testing is not good for the average learner. They're also so outdated. They're also super like if you're not an affluent white person, tests are already biased against you. Like you're already set up to like have it be harder.
Wow, and
And
this is coming
they're-
from teacher Chelsea, so that's like
Yeah, no, but like all that, like NEA and CTA. Well, I teach in California, so CTA.
FCAT.
They're all like starting to acknowledge it. Yeah, so like all of it. And NEA is
Yeah.
like National Education Association, and there's all these petitions saying like we need to like update tests because they're like outdated. They have like undernotes of like racism and sexism and like all the like the economics. It's just they're not set for anyone to succeed. Even if you're in an affluent area, but you're like I went to a really like an affluent school, but I was low income. Like even I had a disadvantage as a kid. Like I was so stressed about because I didn't have tutors. I couldn't afford private tutors.
Yeah.
How is a test sexist?
The questions.
like a word problem?
Yeah. So like I mean the biggest issues right now is going to be like right now the biggest issues that there's petitions going is because of racism and my brain is not remembering the word for like different income levels. What's that word?
Like classism.
Well, classism. Yeah, those are the biggest petitions right now.
Dude,
that
I
I've seen.
just feel like people teach kids for tests. Like they teach the tests. They don't teach them to learn things.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
the thing.
gotta
They have
pass
to
the test
teach
so we can get
Yeah.
that
to the
dollar
standards.
bills.
And that's another thing. Those tests are, it can be a negative feedback loop. My mom's a teacher too.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you don't do good on the tests, you don't get as much funding, you don't get as many perks from the school system. And then they might say, okay, you need to do better on your tests, but like they don't actually do anything to help you. And if you do good on the tests, you get like, my mom got a trip to Disney World one time.
Our high school, it was like every year it was like, oh, you know what? This year we got an 870 overall on the state testing. Our goal next year is to get a 900. And then like, I remember being a student and like so much pressure being put on you. Like I have to like be part of contributing to getting a 900. If we don't, the school's gonna be mad and I'm gonna disappoint them. And it's like, I remember I was working full time, like for as full time as you can be in high school, and like no tutors. And I was like, I would have like my high school sweetheart, one of his friends was really smart.
Excuse me, what?
It wasn't. Like I would have him. I had a trig class that I was like struggling in. I was really, really struggling, and I would like have him help me, like his friend help me, because I'm like the teacher couldn't help me, and I'm like thinking, oh, we're not going to get the right scores, and the school's going to be mad, and like I was one person thinking, like having this pressure.
Yeah, I remember they used to come to our classroom and be like, guys, we need to get like a 950, and if you do it, we'll give you one slice of pizza.
Ice cream.
Just imagine how hard how hard the students would try if they had like a public school execution for kids who got under a certain score.
Oh yes.
The scores would go through the roof. Like it's like the end of the year, the scores come back and they call you all to the courtyard and it's gonna happen, and there's like students with bags on.
Well,
these students got 300.
That's a plot to a great anime. You should write that up.
I think it's been I think that was almost Battle Royale actually. I think Battle Royale is basically that plot line.
The bad students? Are you? No way.
No, because in Battle Royale, it wasn't test scores. It was just like the, like for whatever reason, there was this weird, like I think generational conflict between old people and young people. And since all the old people were politicians, they like wrote legislation that said Battle Royale had to happen, which was like every year one high school goes to an island.
Sounds very similar to Vietnam.
Well, they were killing each other. They weren't trying to kill other different Asian people. It was just Japanese on Japanese action.
They don't have a lot of diversity in Japan, so they don't really get the race war experience.
The draft age is 26. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm clearly fit enough for a battle. Like, I can't run very far, but I could.
Wait, so
I could go to war.
So you can't
William
get drafted
plays video
after
games
26?
with you guys.
I think so. I think 26 is a cutoff.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man,
when
that
you cut
kinda
off your
hurts.
parents' insurance.
Yep.
That's like probably why, right?
Yep.
So none of us can be drafted.
Yeah, because you guys are all old.
Also, women can't be drafted.
I thought they could now.
Is that offensive to you?
It's because I'm almost 30.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, is it? I feel like some people get mad. I don't know. I feel
That's like oh, you want equality? Well, okay, sign up for the draft.
Well, let's be fair. If there was legit a draft in 2021, they would update it. Like,
I think they would.
They
would.
They
I think for sure they would.
I think
I
so.
thought
But
there was a thing
no girls are
recently
registered.
where
you have to do paperwork. You remember
They would
that?
just do it automatic. Like,
No, but do you remember when you literally had to sign up for the draft?
I don't remember.
think so.
No, I don't
You
remember.
did when you were 18. You had
like
to,
maybe
I think
when you
had to
got
fill a
your
format.
learner's permit or something, or your driver's license.
I didn't have to do any of that.
You didn't. Yeah, I swear to God, I had to. I remember.
I feel like
filling
they
out a piece of paperwork.
mailed me a card. I don't remember doing anything. When I was a kid, I was terrified of getting drafted. I thought it was like something that just happened a lot because you read about it for Vietnam. I thought that like especially after September 11th happened, I'm like, I'm going to war.
Yo, can I say something real quick about the draft? So I was watching this documentary and they were like showing footage of all the dates, and my fucking birthday was on there, dude. I'm so glad. So glad I was not born back in the 40s. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You have to register for the Selective Service System 30 days after your 18th birthday.
Oh, so we all must have done that.
You all did it.
But how did you do it?
I remember filling out a piece of paper.
How did it get sent to your
Was
house?
it like at school?
Something
or?
like that.
It probably was.
30 days
Yeah, I
after
don't-
18.
Within 30 days, I think. You probably do
Weird.
it before you turn 18.
I was 17 when I graduated high school, so.
Dude, I was not ready to go to war when I was 18.
No, you
way.
still had a bowl cut.
No, I didn't. Did I?
You could
It
run
was
a
growing
mean mile though.
Oh yeah, in the
He did
opposite
exactly who they
direction.
wanted.
He could
I
run
could-
away from the battlefield
run
like
away
nobody's
from-
business.
Catch me if you can.
He was like creeping out at.
I live in Vietnam now.
He was creeping at In-N-Out that I worked at, trying to get free food from me. That's what you were doing at 18.
Okay, so Jabril, I have there's two topics I want to talk about. One of them after the other. One of them is sort of controversial, but the first one I want to talk about is you are kind of known for playing games, or sorry, making games, and neural networks. It's kind of your YouTube brand. But the other day you said something to me. You said neural networks are stupid.
Uh-oh.
Or overrated.
Yeah, I'll die on that hill. It's definitely really dumb. And here's my take.
Though?
Here's my take. Because when you look at most of the popular AI projects, it's the AI doing something stupid that was unintended. And all the smart, like the really smart stuff that like worked out well, 300 views. No one cares. No one gives a shit. And part of the reason for that is because it's like next to invisible. It's like hard to discern like what makes this special than like regular AI, or like, you know, what makes it special than what we've been doing for years. But when you see it doing something dumb, it's like, oh, this is entertaining. So
right.
For me, it's not worth like investing a month to make this complex thing work, and then, yeah, I don't know.
So you think AI, like doing AI videos, is dumb from like an entertainment perspective?
I think it's more just not worth the time investment. And then
I kind of
if you were
agree.
working on, like, even in general, like what if you're trying to build like a technology product?
That's a different thing though. Then I'm not doing YouTube.
Okay.
I'm putting all my time into building a product.
Okay. Okay. I thought you were smacking on neural networks in general. Also, what's the difference between AI and a neural network? Well, because it's like thrown around a lot, and it's hard. Like, where does one end and the other begin?
So this is actually pretty controversial, but I don't give a shit what anyone says. This is the actual definition. AI is an umbrella term for various different modes of achieving artificial intelligence. I mean, that's what AI means. Right. You can have like a state behavior AI. You can have neural network AI. You can have more of like a hard-coded AI. But I went to a conference that Amazon put on. They invited me out, and I was talking to some of the younger cats that are new in AI, and they're like, yeah, AI means only neural networks. I'm like, no, that's not true. Like they've been calling AI since Pong came out. Like you play against the Pong computer, that's AI. Like you can't just come and try and redefine these things.
A neural network is like one of the many ways to achieve an AI.
Yeah, it's a method. It's a methodology, yeah.
Okay, and then so like doing something like if you had a game of tic-tac-toe and you had a bunch of, you know, like if then, or like different, you know, cases of if the board looks like this, if the board looks like this, like that would technically be an AI as well.
Yeah.
Package.
In fact,
But
go ahead.
But it wouldn't be a neural network unless it could learn the best scenario itself.
Correct. But in the case of tic-tac-toe, like the state behavior AI, I believe that's what's most popularly used, is probably the ultimate AI that you can have. If programmers could use the same logic for a game like chess that they can on tic-tac-toe, they would do it. But the problem is that it gets
behavior.
So it's basically like you'll assess like the current state, and you'll go into like branches and see like what are the probabilities that they'll go to this, and then it's a mess. I'd have to pull up like
I think it's kind of like
that makes sense.
It's like it's like having a map of what to do if
like a
if
flow
you
chart
are in a certain place.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like if you're here and then make this move, if you're there, then make this move if your opponent does that. So it's like, imagine like you have, you know, how many tic-tac-toe possibilities are there? There's like 1,000 or something like that.
I don't recall.
Like there's it's like some totally manageable number. You could literally have like 1,000 data points that describe all the possible combinations of moves on a tic-tac-toe table, and you could describe what to do in each and every single situation.
Yeah, but
so it's like,
that's not artificial intelligence or machine learning or anything. That's just
it is though.
No, that's the problem I have with people saying like artificial intelligence and machine learning and stuff, because it's not. I mean, if you have to like program every outcome and like through a connected web, it's not. what is that? That's just a program.
Like, who cares how it happens?
Right. I think you get into gray area there because, right, and then you can say like, well, then that means neural networks aren't AI because we have to feed it the data for it to learn from, right? So there is a certain probability in which you can predict its behavior,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that the state table is an AI. It just is really like kind of, it's a very bad way of doing it. It's like doing division by like guessing and checking multiplication.
Yeah, I would believe that a human is just a really big state table. I would totally believe that if that's like.
But you totally are like you have a lot of parts of you that are like a state table.
I would buy that for sure. Like if it
I mean,
was
you could
like,
totally say like your like homeostasis, like metabolism, is all like a state table.
Yeah, but even like just for like having ideas of the words we're saying right now, like it's probably very much based off of the words we're hearing, and then that goes into the words that we're saying right now.
No.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Imagine
Like if I
you,
said,
like,
go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Who? Huh?
You, William, go.
Oh,
Imagine it's like a hot day and you've been outside and your head is starting to hurt. What do you think?
You said head is what?
I'm dehydrated.
Your head hurts a little bit.
I'm dehydrated.
You think you're dehydrated,
Oh, I got it right.
right? But it's not like you're dehydrated. You just like have learned, like there's like this state in your head of like, if there's these things, I'm probably dehydrated. It's not like, because that pain could very well be a brain tumor, right?
Oh God.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like, there's a lot
it's all from past experiences.
Yeah, that was learned,
Yeah.
but it still is kind of just like a state. If these things, then it's probably this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
Kevin,
but-
what would you be more expecting to? What would you call AI? Like, what's wrong with just a massive state table of like I'm hungry or horny or dehydrated?
Hungry. I'm hungry
three
and
human
horny.
States, by the way.
I'm hungry.
Horny, hungry, dehydrated. Those are the three human states.
What do you think
did we
about
do
that
a
word
pod-
hungry, Chelsea?
No comment.
Wait, did we do a podcast on this? It's like vibe. I forget what we were talking about. It was in another episode.
But like,
my
what does it have to be
So-
more complicated than that, Kevin?
Yeah, if it can write its own state table, then I would consider it AI. If it could learn and like add a new variable or something like that, like it recognized an outcome that.
So what
You-
if
you could put in.
what if I wrote a state table to write state tables?
I think that would work.
But it's the same.
I would consider that. I mean, I don't know if it would work, right? But
But you could probably make an AI that created the state tables to play tic-tac-toe.
then I would consider that more machine learning.
Is the state table then, does that include, in the AI, like the decision was made by an AI to come up with you know what I'm saying? Like the AI figured out how to win by creating state tables.
I feel like the less work you have to do and the more work that it does after that is like a measure of how successful the AI is. In my opinion.
So what if you had-
I think that's a misconception, though. Like there's no free lunch when it comes to writing machine learning stuff. Like the final
that's-
product you see. Go ahead.
I feel like that's what everybody expects, though. Like when you say
Right.
AI or machine learning, you're actually expecting it to like learn and figure out that if it does make this chess move, then like this, like the probability of this is going to happen this way. And I don't know.
But the
it'll
learning
that.
always happens behind the scenes. Like the learning doesn't happen in real time, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
is it?
You're
then
feeding it
saying
like
that,
chess
oh,
games or something.
Yeah, but like when you play a game of chess, like it's not learning from you. It's like that sort of current neural network or however that AI works is just hard programmed, and then the developers would like change it when they have data that they want to change it with. So the learning could happen 6 months after you play it, if it even ever uses your game. Does that make sense?
This is all very abstract. I
Like, but here's the other thing. Like you yourself, you consist of a bunch of different things. Like, are you thinking about breathing right now? Now you are.
Now I am. Oh no, I can feel my tongue in my mouth now. Gross.
I'm like, my face is getting really itchy. That's
There's-
what I'm thinking about.
Really?
I don't know why. My face has been itchy.
There's like a lot of stuff that happens on its own that you don't think about. Like imagine like if you feel a certain way, like you didn't really think about it. Is it your brain thinking about it? Like, no, it's something dumber than that,
Okay, but we aren't like programmed. Oh my god.
We've got.
But, like,
we've
okay,
got
so-
some
I mean, we
behaviors
are,
built in,
right?
dog.
For, like,
yeah,
thousands
So
of
like,
years.
okay, here we go.
Sure.
Here's a good one. What happens when you throw a dog into water?
It sinks.
They just start doing this. They just start doing the doggy paddle. Where does that come from?
My dog
That's as
hasn't
close- that's
unlocked
like a-
that program yet. It
Dude,
just sinks.
that's like
Wait, which one? Shiloh or Primrose?
Shiloh.
which dog?
Oh.
Actually,
Wait, didn't
Yeah.
Shiloh almost get eaten by a...
Yep, because he jumped in.
Yeah.
He jumped in a lake to try to get an alligator because he saw a
he didn't
splash in the
swim at all?
water. No. I mean, he could touch the bottom. He
Hold
can't
on,
really swim.
hold on. The Florida dogs are as crazy as the Florida men? What the hell?
yeah,
My
they're
God.
crazier.
That's where they learn it from.
That neural networks is
no.
observing.
But like,
Okay, so would you? Yeah.
you didn't learn. I mean, you were programmed, but it was through your own experiences.
But a dog swimming, like a dog that's never seen water before, would still most likely do that weird paddle thing.
Yeah, I
you've
mean,
got a
but
lot
that's
of
like
hardware
evolution.
built
That's like
in.
stuff that's hardwired into you.
You've got a
But
lot
that's
of
the
Hold
same
on a
hardwired
thing.
second.
stuff,
Hold on a second. Let's pause and back up. What is the topic? What's the question? I'm a bit confused.
Is a state table AI like playing tic-tac-toe, creating a program to play tic-tac-toe where it knows every single possible combination and what to do,
Or-
even though it's really simple, right? If this, then that. Is that AI?
Or like, what's the public's perception of an AI? What should it like? What do people think it is versus what it is too? Like, at what point
Okay.
do people consider it an AI?
So let me ask you a question. So if I gave you, let's just say a tic-tac-toe game, and I said this is an AI playing you. It's learning. It learned. Let's say it learned at some point. How would you then discern, like, if it's a state table or if it actually learned how to play the game? I guess the better question, like, is that even important?
No, it's not.
Right. Does it matter?
At that,
does it
no.
matter if you? Yeah. I think that's sort of the big difference. It's like, can the
Oh, it's like
user
a
tell
Turing
that
test
it
of
is-
AI.
Yeah, exactly. Is it 10 billion state tables or is it some true AI?
Yeah. Did somebody write those state tables or did it figure this out itself?
Right. Exactly.
Could
You know,
I fall
it
in
has
love
some
with
sort of
this
learning.
thing by playing tic-tac-toe with it?
I was
Right.
going to say...
Can you have sex with the AI?
I was going to say, so we're like... When I think of it, I think of, like, Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's crazy.
If she could
They
That's
call
like,
convince,
you know,
They call
You-
that
yeah.
AGI, artificial general intelligence, which I hate that term, but that's what they most people refer to.
When it's a sexy lady?
Yeah.
A sexy lady.
so it's like more like a
Really.
human consciousness
will-
than a program. That was
Yeah.
AGI compared to AI.
Yeah, that's the most people refer to.
Okay. See, I wouldn't have known that.
I
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
But I,
I think,
also don't know, like, a lot of what you guys were talking about right now.
what do you think about AI?
I just told you. Ex Machina.
Okay, all I want to know.
That's what I think
Jabril,
of.
if I take 1,000 pictures of myself wearing clothes, and then I take 1,000 pictures of myself not wearing clothes in the same positions and lighting, can I get a pair of goggles that will always know what I look like naked, no matter what clothes I'm wearing? You know what I mean? Like, if
I
you could
think-
wear those
I think
goggles,
you
you
could
would
do that.
always see my naked body.
I think,
Could you do that? Is that
I think you
possible?
can do that. I think you can totally do that.
The question is why.
Did you just come up with that idea right now?
Because it's X-ray specs. Like, you know,
Has
you
that
want
been
the
cooking
like
for a
the
while?
classic
But they only
50s
work on
X-ray
you.
specs.
X-ray specs, but they
Well,
only work
okay,
on
but
Alan Payne.
I mean, I'm a start. Once they
So
work
wait,
on
every
me,
person they
then you
look
can
at?
like add more people.
No, can I
I-
put them on and look at William and see you?
It would be my naked body on William's body.
It's like a new Snapchat
Can I-
filter. But it's only naked Alan.
No.
All right, Jabril, what's the verdict?
Yeah, can we do?
Well, I'm sure as a lot of you guys know, anything that's even slightly porn related leads any field. So that technology already exists. There was a really big
No.
headline. There was a really, really big headline last year, I think it was, of some developer, or team of developers that developed this AI that basically took off the shirts of women.
Wait, this is
bullshit
already
you
a
not.
thing?
It's
So I
already a
just
thing.
guessed.
Dude, I love technology.
William.
Is this something like
Well,
we can find?
Think of the possibilities, the good possibilities.
Look at
For
your
research,
son.
Kevin. For research.
He's
For
just sitting
research.
like
I want
a
to put
good
myself in
boy.
it, and then we'll post that.
Yeah, will it give
I
us
think
boobs?
it was
I
only
want
trained
boobs.
on women. It was only trained on
So would it
women.
give
It
men
would give us
boobs?
boobs.
Shocking.
It might.
I want boobs. There's only one way to find out.
I get a bra with some chicken cutlets in it.
Nah, it's not the same.
Yeah, dude, that's gross. I don't want to look at naked ladies. I just want to look at other people with my naked body on their heads. That's all I want. I don't want to look at naked women. That's gross.
Dude, the future is amazing. They promised us flying cars, and what did we get?
X-ray specs.
T-shirt remover.
That's still
X-ray-
pretty cool.
Speak for yourself.
So wait, real quick. So
There's
just to finalize this, William.
Yeah.
So Chelsea says like she thinks AI is ex machina, and this is kind of my point, right? To make something impressive in this space, you have to spend months and months and months to make something cool. Like even the shirt remover AI, like they spent months figuring that out, right? And it's like it's just not worth it for me to buckle down for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months and then create this 12-minute video. You know, it's just
But
not worth
you could
it.
make a video about something someone else has done.
But then, you know, I'm sacrificing getting 20,000 views. No one cares about that. What's,
No, but,
what's the
you know,
audience
I
for
think
that?
like you could train do we all like rewired our brain for YouTube except Jabril? Jabril's the only you used to though. Jabril used to. I feel like people don't know this. I bring it up a couple times and nobody knows of it. Jabril, there's this old video, old viral video of a guy standing in front of a police officer. Was it mall security?
Mall cop, yeah.
Mall cop, and he's got his back to the cop, and there's someone else next to him, and he says to him, "You want to buy a little pot?" And clearly in earshot of the mall security, or the police or whatever. So they like, it gets their attention. They come over, and the guy's holding a little tiny metal pot, like a cooking pot, and that's Jabril. Like that. I don't know how like you came up with that idea or had the balls to go in public and do that.
It was a different time back then.
Puberty? Was
I
it
know.
during puberty?
It was before there weren't a lot of police shootings and shit.
Oh,
I wouldn't dare do
well,
that
they
shit
weren't.
today.
They weren't recorded as much.
Were
I
you in
guess.
high school?
No, I was out of high school.
Okay.
But now I feel like, there's totally good ideas you can do with a neural
Yeah, what about a
network. I
simpler,
feel
like,
you
what
think-
if, I think Will's talked about something like this before of, like, what if you had something where it's, like, if you saw, like, if you could see a naked lady, it replaced her nipples in real time with male nipples. And then it's like, does that
Right,
still count?
right.
Like, that's got to be
That would-
easier
yeah.
than...
Saving
like,
society one.
Why are you
Yeah.
guys so obsessed with the
You wouldn't
chest
understand.
Because it's the brain, it's the
programmed.
hardware.
It's a
It's a
lizard
state
brain.
table.
Monkey brain.
It's a state table in the human mind.
Yeah,
The human male's
it
mind.
leads to boobs, or boobs is the input, and then everything is the output.
Happiness is the output.
Horngry, boobs in, horngry out.
Oh my gosh. Neutron, cover your ears.
So like, what if you made? Okay, let's come up with some AI ideas right now. I
sure.
still have mine, which I like a lot. You get the internet to train a vending machine to give people drinks based off of what they look like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, I
remember.
actually almost stole this idea from you. Someone offered a vending machine to me recently, and I was thinking about it, but I was gonna do Twitch chat. Twitch chat decides on the drink.
Twitch
It's
That
not
was-
AI though.
I know it, but it's far easier.
Yeah.
But anyways, continue.
How hard would it be? How hard would it be to actually like? Okay, here's the thing. It's YouTube. Like, how good do the results have to be? I think that's maybe where your head is. Your head is like too, because I know how it is. Your head is too focused on like the engineering aspect of things.
Yeah, definitely without a doubt. Working
Like,
on
if I
letting
give
it
you
go.
the problem, make a vending machine that gives people a drink based on what they look like, you would work on it until it works almost perfectly, instead of just being like, I spent 2 days on this and it kind of works, but it's mostly shit.
That's
Let
big-
it rip.
big brain energy.
That's what you got to do. Like, almost put like a deadline. It's like, okay, how can you build a neural network that, based off of an image of someone, can give them a drink out of a vending machine, and you have 2 days to program the network.
Yeah. I mean, there's APIs, but I know like the easiest thing is just like, what's your race? We'll give you a drink on your race.
It'll give William a glass of warm milk.
Yes. I think that would be a great video.
Every once in a while, you got to spend a lot of time making something good, but other times, sometimes the video is bad. When it's bad, absurd, that makes it good.
I think, what if it scanned Shiloh, your dumb dog that tried to get eaten? Would it give him Mountain Dew?
I think it would just, at that point, it would just kind of break and just probably pick something random.
I don't know. I feel like people always say dogs and humans, like, oh, you look like your owner.
You think Kevin drinks Mountain Dew? Is that what you're
Do you think
getting
Shiloh?
No, I'm trying to say Shiloh drinks Mountain
Shiloh
Dew.
looks like somebody.
Hold on. What circles are you roaming in where people are saying your dog looks like the owner?
It's a thing.
That's a
It's
thing. People
That's
say
like
that.
a
It is
thing.
kind of a
People
thing.
say
That's
that.
like a middle-aged woman
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It's like all over. Twitter
I
for middle-aged women.
I definitely need more white friends, dude. I've never
What does
heard
your
this
dog
shit in
look
my
like,
life.
Gabriel?
Like go on Facebook with like middle-aged women.
Do you have a family dog?
I don't have any dogs.
He has cats because he's cool.
I have
Yeah,
two
but it's not
cats.
cats look like their owner.
Cats are way cooler.
I guess, okay, I have a question. I mean, going back to the AI stuff a little bit, it's because, I don't know. Personally, I think that social media and, like, AI and all, I feel like it's going to destroy the entire world. Or just, at least, like people, I think, are just going to be messed up. Like, do you agree, Jabril? I feel like that's a thing.
No, I don't agree. I
Really?
hate this take. I hate this take, and let me explain. It's not going to be AI. It's not going to be any tool. It's going to be greed and capitalism. No matter what. You can ban AI tomorrow. It's still going to be on track.
Via AI and social media.
I don't agree.
Greed
you
and
can ban
capitalism
AI.
will use AI as a vector to destroy society.
Yeah. Yeah, but you truly think that if we banned social media tomorrow, that there would be some other just as effective vehicle that
Yes.
would no way.
Yes.
Social
stand by
media
it.
is like
I stand by it.
so good at destroying minds. What could you possibly come up with that's
awful.
better than Twitter?
I think.
For doing
Okay,
that.
here.
But people would be so desperate to find other ways because that'd be like the void they need to fill because people are so desperate for social media.
You're right. We don't
They
even
would
know what
find
ose
a-
is
it-
out there.
Social media would find a way, like in Wall-E. where it's
Everyone
like
would just
life will
start
find
doing
a way.
heroin. Literally, everyone would just be on drugs.
That's honestly, that's
Like-
the ultimate solution.
And I think
to,
that would actually
everyone's
be
happiness.
better. Is it weird? That
Okay,
I think
let
it would
me
be
ask
better
you.
if everyone
let me
was
ask-
on
let-
heroin.
let me propose a question. Do you consider VR chat a social media?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would. I would.
yeah.
I think it's healthier.
It depends how
than,
active
like,
you are,
Facebook.
but it can be.
Not the way that a lot of children use it. It's not. It's
VR
used for
chat?
bullying. Yeah.
Well, bullying builds character.
Who cares?
I'm just saying I think it's social media. It's social media.
Alan?
I mean, like, I could understand if like your friends or classmates are bullying you on VR chat, but like, why just walk away?
Because the thing is, when you're on VR chat, like people are trying to be someone on there. It's like I'm trying to be this personality, and therefore it's like it's just like you're giving off a vibe of what you want people to think you are. So it's social media.
What, Jabril? What? I see you contemplating.
you didn't
what you
answer.
got.
You didn't answer the question.
Yeah, he's waiting for yours.
Oh, if VR chat is, I think it counts as social media. I think it does.
So then that would be included in your ban.
If I could ban social media, I would regulate social media. I would treat
Alan's
it like
more
cigarettes.
talking about. I think Alan's talking about more like the Twitter algorithms and stuff that feeds you content that it thinks you're interested in and stuff like that. So it kind of
Right.
like throw you into a
TikTok or
feedback loop.
YouTube.
So the question that I want to follow up with, well, let's say you ban all that, what prevents people from scratching that itch, going to VR chat, going to Fortnite, and the company's just taking all
Fortnite.
that
We
that's
should
missed
ban
out?
Fortnite, too.
I think it would just regulation is what I'm saying. Like just
Okay.
the same way that we've got like legalized marijuana now. It's like it could be something as simple as like limiting the amount of like advertisements that are allowed on certain platforms, right? Because that removes.
That's your paycheck, Alan. Watch it.
Hey, look, I'm in no position to actually get this done, and that's why I can advocate for it. There's no consequences here.
like a true grifter. I like it.
If any of the fossil fuel industries acted the same way as Alan, I feel like there'd be a lot less dolphins covered in tar.
but you like.
Okay, here's my take. You want my take?
Yeah, go.
I think that AI is a catalyst. I think that people inherently are going to do the thing that makes them the most money, which a lot of times, ironically, on a small scale, like would be someone breaking into a car window to steal $20, right? They break into a car window, they go into your center console, they steal $20. Do you know how much money that cost you, that $20 that they earned? Do you know how much that cost you?
Fixing
Probably
your broken
$800,
window.
right? So someone made $20 and it cost you $800. And I think a lot of people make the same kind of actions online via social medias and false narratives and advertising, where they will make $100 at the expense in the future of $10,000, right? I mean, think of even people losing their jobs because of these, groups that they get into and can't shake the mentalities, and they get fired or whatever. They say something really bad and get fired. That's a direct consequence that cost a lot of money compared to how much money a person made to sway them in that direction. So I think it's a catalyst. People are gonna do this kind of stuff, but social media makes it way easier to manipulate people. I think the difference between Facebook and VR chat is face-to-face interaction activates a hardware portion of your brain that you don't really recognize that it exists. People behave differently when they're face-to-face.
Oh, yeah.
So, hence VR chat is probably going to be a lot less nasty than Call of Duty or Fortnite. And in the same way, a Zoom call is going to be significantly less nasty without an avatar, because there's something inside of people's heads where they just don't know how to. When
they see your actual face, it's harder to say.
Unless you're a sociopath.
Or you're going through puberty.
Or going
same
through
thing.
puberty.
Same thing.
But
same thing.
Think of this.
You're impulsive. You can't help it.
When you are driving on the freeway and someone's just driving like a total ass, they're not using their turn signal, they're cutting in front of you. But then when you're walking down the sidewalk, that same person most likely wouldn't want to cause a similar confrontation. They're not going to just cut in front of you and be it does happen, but I think it's less likely to have that confrontation on a sidewalk than on a freeway. Because
definitely. There's studies done about people in cars.
It's some weird empathy thing. Your monkey brain is so programmed to not want to disappoint other people that you modify your behavior to be more friendly.
Yeah, I mean that's totally my experience in VR chat.
Right. And so when you remove that, literally by actually just removing the face and the voice on Facebook, by just having a profile picture and a wall of text, you can completely destroy that human characteristic, and then people just go ham on each other. Yeah. It's crazy.
I guess the difference is VR chat, it's a little bit different because I guess the other social media platforms that I was more thinking of were the ones where it's there's content that is served to people and curated by some kind of black box algorithm that's just trying to maximize income, right? And so it's
it's a catalyst.
If it figures out that it's oh wait, if we just keep pushing more and more extreme things to this person, they'll keep watching more and more, and we throw an ad in there. It doesn't have any morality, and it doesn't have any sort of thought other than literally maximizing the time spent on that platform, and then you end up with a bunch of little terrorists.
Yeah.
So I guess VR chat's much better in that it's more humans interacting in what I assume are weird sexual ways.
Lesser of. Yeah, I mean there's just so much opportunity to be on social media. There's so many. And it's just overwhelming.
So, I guess I'm surprised. I thought you'd be with me on this one, Jabril.
I mean, I hear the arguments, and I kind of agree. I just think that I think that blaming the tools humans make is always the wrong like way to look at a problem, because it's not never really the tools. Like there's something more deep rooted oftentimes.
It's all connected though. Like imagine like the EPA regulating like car emissions, right? Like the tool is the car, and the engineers that make it, like they're just gonna make it as cheap as possible, and so they're not gonna think about that, and someone forces them to think about it. So like it'd be the same with social media. Like someone like the government would recognize, oh, like these are the negative effects. Like there's this thing that on TikTok. I don't use TikTok anymore. Like I recognize that it does a very good job.
Yes.
TikTok is very,
very
very
good.
well
It's
designed.
very good.
It's very good. And I didn't like that. I didn't like it. My brain was like, this is bad. You need to not do this. And what I noticed was occasionally it would show me like a girl dancing in like a bikini or something. So I'd go to the profile and I would scroll. I would scroll all the way to the bottom of the profile and I would watch the progression. And 99%, almost, I would say like 100% of the time, the first videos of this girl would not be a girl in a bikini dancing around. And all the last videos, the recent videos of the girl, would be her in a bikini dancing around. And you would see that like there would be some sort of like nucleation of a video doing well. And they're kind of like, oh, what did I do here? Like they're learning what TikTok was responding to. And unfortunately, it was teaching them that the more like scantily clad they were, the better the videos would do. And that's then what they started doing. Like,
wow.
They would stay away from.
This is actually
it's insane.
This is exactly what happened with my channel on YouTube.
It was Kevin. It's one bikini, and now all he does is wear bikinis.
It was pouring molten aluminum in my pool.
He was like
in a bikini.
In a bikini.
And then every other video I did for like 2 years was pouring molten aluminum on things that would do that.
Yeah. But like you can see the evolution so much faster on TikTok where people learn what other people watch. And it's like for molten aluminum, it's like not a big deal. But I think with young girls and young guys, just kids basically, trying to figure out what is popular and what does well for them on TikTok.
Yeah, because it was also like shirtless young guys. Same thing. Like if they had a shirt on versus without their shirt.
So just to defend my point a little bit. So you're pointing out the fact that on TikTok you're able to see like the learning progression of these young lady creators as they discover.
See the effect that I think social media has, where it's like social media is telling them that to get attention they need to show more of themselves.
Right, but my point is that social media's fault, or is that like natural, just disgusting men behavior that they're learning, right? Like if you remove the social media tool, is this not going to be replicated somewhere else? Are you going to change the way men operate just by removing social media?
This is just exploitation, though. That's what I think. Is like it exploits the human mind.
Yeah.
In every direction. Like and generally exploits are frowned upon because you're kind of breaking the way something was meant to work.
It's like,
but I mean, I do.
I
think that Jabril's like also right though. It's a tough like topic because I don't feel like there's one exact. Okay. Because people, if they're gonna be if you're just like a crummy person, you're a crummy person, and social media or not, it's gonna come out. Like the truth is gonna come out no matter what. Like you're still gonna be. Like, you can't repress who you are forever.
Yeah.
It's just easier for it to come out quicker on social media.
Help me out by giving me an alternative.
An alternative to...
I think this is a good way to look at it. This is what I was saying to Peter. We need the button meme. All our decisions need to be the meme where he's like deciding which button to push. I think you could come up with a bunch of situations where you had to choose the correct button to press, and things would be a lot better. So it's like what are the two choices between like TikTok, like social media kind of pushing kids to do stuff like this, or like what would make it better, like letting it be like as is, or make a change. What change would you make? I think that like I don't know. I mean,
you could change the algorithm to not.
You could.
To not.
You could delete TikTok. You could completely delete TikTok, right? That's an option. You could ban certain clothes. That's an option. You could train the algorithm to not recommend that kind of content.
So here's the thing, right? I think the only way this could work is what Alan was suggesting, which is regulation. Because if there is one platform that's doing it, they're basically just saying, yeah, we're going to let this ship sink. Because all other platforms that are doing it is where people are going to drove to. So you have to have like a government that substances everyone. Right. You must ban this thing so that it's an even playing field.
That's why I'm surprised Twitch is still around. But anyway.
And honestly, like hearing Jabril, like hearing you be like, it's almost optimistic about the fact that like maybe this isn't the worst thing ever does actually make me feel better, because you just like are more in it than I am, and I'm just like kind of on the sides like worrying about algorithms and not really understanding algorithms that well. So the fact that you're kind of like, well, it kind of makes me feel better actually.
I just think that if you go back to any point in history, this conversation is always happening. Be it social media, be it the workplace, whatever, what have you. This is always the conversation that's always going to happen, because we're talking about human behavior here. We're talking about dudes that obsess over women. We're talking about, girls that like to get into catty fights and whatnot. Like, this is the core of what we're talking about. And to say that, like, remove social media, it's going to get rid of it, I don't believe in that. I understand the argument, though.
Yeah, my thing is I just see it there. Like, the problem is it rewards people for doing things they wouldn't normally do. Like, that's what I see the problem.
And I think my biggest problem is that you're having like teenagers who are going through like insane hormone changes, and they're like rapidly going through changes that are gonna like constantly change. And it's like, oh, but you're allowed to post all that online. Like, if your parents aren't like watching it, which I think a lot of parents don't, it just is like a really terrible thing. But it's so hard to like get them away from it, because it's everywhere and everyone wants to do it. Everyone wants to be part of it, and it's like, oh, you're not on it, like you're lame. And it's like, well, no, because I want to like actually like, do other cool things. But then, well, I guess, like, I don't know.
Let me step back. I'll step back from playing devil's advocate and say that I do think that social media does do a lot of harm, and specifically the numbers game. Can you imagine what it'd be like to go back to high school and you see Bradley has 100 likes and you're getting 15?
Yeah.
Can you imagine, dude?
It'd be good. It'd be bad.
No.
It'd be really.
Or people filming you like TikToks
so
without like
glad.
asking you all the time.
Do you know that we grew up, I think, in the absolute prime of social media?
Yeah.
I talk about this all the time.
Social media was like, it was complementary to your life. Your life didn't revolve around it, because you couldn't really live on social media all day.
Dude, scale back.
Really figured out how to optimize.
Scale back. Not only social media, the internet.
Yeah, we went from having like no internet in our lives to like everything, all social media, to how it is now.
Okay, so here's the solution.
And like, where you still have to go to the
Make
library.
social media more boring. Make it more boring. Don't deliver content as efficiently as content is delivered.
But then they wouldn't make as much money.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
But that's
it's
the
all
thing,
about
is
the money.
That's what you're saying it's all about the money, which means they're going to do whatever they can to get the money.
Let's be realistic here and address our age. Okay. I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm playing devil's advocate for the most part. Like, I do agree that there are problems that need to be addressed here. But this argument of like, I know you guys are joking largely, but getting rid of social media and whatnot sounds like the same argument of like, we need to ban video games when you're younger. Well, it's like, why?
It's the button meme, though. Like, what's the best solution? Like, if you had to pick one, if you had to ban social media or let it continue, which one's going to have a better outcome? I don't know.
I guess if there is definitely a little bit of like, like how people only think that the like good music was when they were like teenagers and very impressionable, and like that was what music was good. And it's like every generation thinks that. So I think maybe there's a little bit of that of like, it was the best when we had LiveJournal and MySpace. That was when the internet it happened to be I was 15.
No,
chat roulette, baby.
I think
at the time.
I don't think it was the best. I think it was the healthiest.
Yeah, I think so too. It was a very good mix of like having information and connectivity and being able to talk to people, but without like, you wouldn't spend as much time as you do nowadays.
And like, if you were at your friend's house, you weren't all online.
And what would you say? What would you say if your grandfather said, "Well, the healthiest time of all history was the age without video games"? What would your reply be?
Shut up, old man.
I was like, oh my God, you're alive? I thought you were dead.
I mean, I could definitely.
But I think, I don't know. It's hard because like video games like have actually been, there's like so much research that's gone into it. Like you've actually created like different fields, and you're using different parts of your brain. You're like creating different motor skills, and there's like great benefits.
Here's the correct answer. It's about moderation.
Yeah, that's true.
If you play video games all day, every day, as a kid, and you basically don't go to school and you play video games, like that is not moderation, and that is bad for you. And you're probably going to grow up to not be a productive member of society. Social media is about moderation. If you use social media with moderation, I think that you will receive the best experience in life that you possibly could. The problem is social media is designed to not be used with moderation, and you can carry it everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You're bored, you're at the doctor's office, what do you do?
It exploits your lizard brain.
I've actually like tried to not use it at the doctor's office because I was thinking about that. Like, oh yeah, right. You used to like play those little like puzzle games and
you were
read
like
magazines or
the blocks.
The
Yeah,
highlights,
like the thing meant for
and
like
then they had
babies, the little like brick on the wire toy. Dude, that thing was great.
I went to a bunch of
But when you
doctor's
didn't have
appointments
internet,
trying
you were doing that when you were like 12 years old still.
Yeah.
Can
I was trying to do that, and then I was like, oh, I can play I was gonna play solitaire on my phone. I'm like, oh, like just. Yeah.
Can I say
just
something?
Thinking about the fact that like I'm sitting here waiting.
I want to say something to the audience. I'm largely playing the devil's advocate here just to make this conversation entertaining. Please don't send me hate emails.
Jabril's afraid of getting canceled. Like, I think that proves a point right there, that Jabril is afraid of getting canceled.
No,
listen,
listen.
for social media.
I want to be canceled. I want to get it over with.
The sweet release of getting canceled, right?
Which person in like internet history has been canceled and never come back bigger?
Exactly.
Okay, so I think what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people don't have control of their actions when it comes to something that like triggers their reward center in their brain. Like, and you have to like regulate it, otherwise they'll just keep doing bad things.
Yeah.
Yeah, structure is also good, and a lot like in life, you should have structure so that you don't get into like bad habits of that. And I think a lot of people are really bad at like creating that, like self-regulating and having a routine. It's like easy to be like, oh, now that I'm not in school, I can just do whatever I want all day.
But you know what, Chelsea? This is America, and it's their God-given right to not have self-control.
God bless America.
And I'm proud to be
American. Do you remember they made us do the Pledge of Allegiance every day in school?
Oh
Yeah, that
Do you
was
still do that?
a little cringe.
It's not like when I went through my credential program and all that, it was never once mentioned to me that was a it was just never even brought up. No one ever said I had to do it. No one said I didn't have to. It was never brought up. The only thing is like all classrooms come with an American flag in them. That's pretty standard.
That's
like
fair.
it's just in there.
That's fair.
But then I have never once been told anything about it. Like
probably 'cause you're in
pretty creepy,
California.
a room of kids.
yeah. Oh, do other states like have more? Yeah. No. And it's
I'm
like
guessing.
when I taught kindergarten, and we would sing like patriotic songs because it's like, you know, we do a lot of music stuff like for counting and ABCs, and so we would sing about like certain patriotic songs during like, you know, Labor Day, Veterans Day, whatever, stuff like that. But it's never been told that it's a requirement.
The glorious People's Republic of the United States Independence National Day. So, you know?
Just imagine watching like a documentary about North Korea. The first thing they're going to show
That's
you is
what
a
it
bunch of
sounds like.
kids in a classroom doing a salute.
Yeah,
singing
like about the
national anthem. And we would make fun of that. Like, oh, look at it's North Korea with their weird, you know, child, you know, indoctrination.
Now everyone
yeah.
get.
I remember, I'm like thinking about this now. When I did my student teaching, one of the teachers did it, but there was a bunch of kids who didn't participate. Like they would stand, but they just were silent, and it wasn't a big deal.
Goddamn commies, commie kids.
I know.
Is there
No, they were. It was religious usually.
is there
Don't
any
defend
way
them,
that we could
Chelsea.
force kids to pledge allegiance to us to make like a video play on YouTube? Like the video, when they want to watch your video, it won't play until they do like a pledge of allegiance to William Osman.
Yeah,
Pledge
I like
allegiance
this. I like this.
To Alan Pan,
They have to have a webcam. and they have, this is
Foster,
this is the
pretty
can of
well.
Mountain Dew
Unregistered
thing.
sex
and in the
offender.
dumpster
It is
where all the eggs are.
Doritos.
Before your content is available, please present your can of Mountain Dew and Doritos to the camera.
And then Shiloh pops up
Now,
with an
all
alligator.
right, like now that you have presented your can of Mountain Dew, please recite this following sentence.
Yeah.
Please,
It's like a copy
please,
pasta of like some Sony patent or something.
Please read the back
Yeah.
of the G Fuel bottle.
Yeah.
I love G Fuel. G Fuel is my favorite. It gives me the energy I need to go on my day.
Yo, G Fuel's gonna listen to this and be like, sweet, free ad.
I feel like this.
I've actually never
particular-
had. No, we had
Yeah,
G Fuel once.
you tried it, but you what did you guys do with it, Alan? With the G
Uh-oh.
Fuel, you
Uh-oh.
Charlie's.
Oh, we
You
froze
put
it,
it-
right?
We
Liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
We put it in liquid
Dip and
nitrogen.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You made Dippin'
Yeah, we
Dots.
dripped it into. It's actually pretty good.
I didn't try it because I was
you had
hiding
to- you
from
had
you
to
guys
be
because you were
careful.
crazy.
Freeze
It was
in your
too
mouth.
cold.
Moderation.
Sandra and I hid in a different room when you guys were doing all that stuff because we were afraid of being physically harmed by your actions.
And it was so lame. It didn't explode at all. It went.
Yeah.
Well, still.
I feel like this
I was
segment in
scared too.
particular is going to age really well. I feel like
Neutron
in a
has
few
been
years,
sleeping this whole
like
time.
all of this is actually going to happen, and people are going to be like, "What are they laughing at?" Like, I do have to recite the G Fuel pledge. Like, what's so funny about it?
The Pringle can stays locked until you recite the Pledge of a Pringle Allegiance.
That's me when Keemstar becomes president.
Oh, that's the America I want to live in. That's
Blech.
my America.
Blech.
President Star, is that what we call him?
Oh, gross.
But Jabril, you remember when you said like, you know, if your grandpa said back in the day, there's no video games, would it be better? I was just thinking like how different it is today compared to back in the day, like 50 years ago. Just with like everything is tailor made to super like play to your basic instincts, and you don't even know it. Like junk food ingredients
Yeah.
are like specifically like, you know, people sit down in a lab and like probably look at brain scans to see which ingredients and what ratios gives you like the most like pleasure sensor in your brain. So,
Everyone's
like,
just trying to exploit one another.
dude, it is. And like think about back in the day, like when you were a caveman or something, like even 2,000 years ago, do you think you would ever have like the flavors
Wait,
and the
cavemen
colors?
2,000 years ago, Kevin? What?
No,
what
no,
is your
cavemen
concept
or like
of
2,000
world
years ago.
history?
Like,
I was
You
a
know?
caveman 5
I
years ago.
guarantee
so-
somebody lived in a cave 2,000 years ago.
I think there's people living in caves right now.
Let him finish his point.
All right,
like
sorry,
back when it, you know,
Bashing
used to be
your balls
black
here.
and white back in the day. Now we have all these colors and stuff.
Yeah, it did.
You know what I'm saying? Because like pure sugar wasn't really a thing.
Wait, that's not what he was
Speech, I'm
saying? Oh, shit. Wait.
No.
Wait, what's going on? I'm confused.
You said black and white back in the day.
Immediately after caveman talk, so I thought... okay.
Kevin, I want to hear what you have to say.
You're saying it's more
Blanche.
discreet. The options were more discreet, right?
Yeah, it wasn't, you know, now you're really like hitting your brain really hard with like these tailored things to provide you with like the most, like, you know, they've got your reactions dialed in, you know, they know serving you these ads are going to get you to look at more, you know, ads that make you like fearful or angry. It's like, you know, people get scared, people get hungry and horny, and like those are the three things or something like that.
Horngry.
So you
They're
can like,
modifying the
Hungry.
fruit.
oh, exactly. Like, you know,
I
the
watched a
sweetness
video.
of food, the saltiness. Like, I don't think people really had those flavors back in the day.
Yeah, fair point.
I mean, they
What's-
did, but like, you know, look at a bag of Chex Mix. That's like scientifically tailored to make it addicting.
No, dude, they still got the
Wait.
little shitty pieces. in
Wait, so
there.
Wait,
what's
which
your
one?
reply? What's your reply to the
I
rebuttal?
think it's
I'm saying you
Wait, which
can
one?
you can romanticize that period. You know, I can definitely see you being able to like romanticize the period, like back in the day, how, you know, society might have been different or better without video games. You know, like winning a game of Call of Duty is pretty fun, but have you ever milked a cow for 6 hours on your farm before there's video games?
Have you ever
That
have
was
you ever
probably
gotten
pretty cool.
gonorrhea before there was antibiotics?
Oh my
Right?
God.
But like they probably got just as much pleasure or satisfaction from like, I don't know, weaving a basket or something.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Dude,
Oh.
do you know how awesome it was to live past the age of like 33
I agree with you,
back in the
Kevin.
day?
I agree with you.
Meow, meow.
I think that everyone has just figured out how to exploit people, and then there's entire like technologies dedicated to figuring out how to mega exploit people. Like the more advanced things become, the more advanced the exploitation becomes, and I think it just is gonna mess people up.
I think so too.
Yeah. Well, I see it messing children up in 5th grade. Well, I mean, just elementary school in general, but specifically 5th grade because it's like the oldest. Like at my school, there's so much drama with social media and like pressure and self-mutilating, and there's just
that's
it's
wild.
I heard that kids now, like little kids, like kindergartners, preschoolers, like instead of playing like Tea Party or like with their dolls or whatever, like what they'll do. I don't have a kindergartner here, so I don't know. I've only heard this. Is that they'll play.
Thank God you clarified that.
I just had to. I just figured
They're not in the house. They're in the van.
No, yeah, they're just off the premises.
Can you hear the knocking, the banging, the tinfoil of the van?
So you're saying that
Why are
they'll
we laughing
instead of
about this?
These
having a
little
tea
kids-
party, they're having an unboxing party.
They'll pretend that there's a camera. And they'll like refer to the audience like, oh, today we've got a special, and they'll like have a pretend box and they'll like show up.
I
a
would say
toy.
that's kids who have parents who do not regulate anything that their children are doing or watching. And there's definitely parents who do that, but there's definitely parents who don't, because the kids still love, like we do little buddies with like some of my oldest students are little buddies with little, and they love to just do like the normal developmental for that age. But some of them are more into social media.
So I want to go back to what Will was saying about moderation, and this is kind of pointed to you, Chelsea, a bit too. In that take, would you agree that maybe the best thing is not so much to ban all these various things, but to create better parents that can then teach their kids moderation?
Yeah, but just imagine parents 10 years from now who have been damaged by all this.
Or just, I think the problem is parenting is not easy. Like parenting is so hard, and it's so easy to become a parent. And then there's no like, oh, well, like how, like, let's give you skills. Let's help you out, this and that. Like it's offered too late. Like in the schools we'll offer it, but it's like, well, at that point it's too late. Like if you're offering parenting classes and they already have these problems established and they're in like, you know, kinder, first, second, third, fourth, or fifth grade, it's too late. Like they've learned those things.
Yeah.
People have been messing up parenting for literally thousands of years.
Yeah. But messing up parenting is like the stakes are getting higher, I think. And social media being a parent and messing up social media regulation is a huge, like it's so much different than like when we were younger, and that makes it sound old, like saying like, like Kevin, but it's the stakes are different.
Why'd you say Kevin?
Like I was at home. I would be like at home alone with my brother when we were
Kevin, you
younger.
old ass.
And we were on
Teacher
social
me
media.
like I wasn't paying attention, so you like.
No, I'm saying you made a comment like that back in the day.
Oh yeah. But I was talking about
I
like
was saying
cavemen,
I'm like
not like
it.
when I was a kid.
No,
in my day, we lived in a cave.
well, I don't know. It's the stakes are higher now for like being a bad parent. Like it can go so badly now. Like there was a story, someone at my school, a teacher was telling me about this. Like someone in their life who was like 11 or 12, stole their parents' phone, ordered because someone online wanted to buy their socks or something. Some old man was like, I'll pay $100 for your socks. This like 12-year-old gets her mom's phone, gets a lift, goes to a Starbucks, sells their socks,
Wow, wait,
comes
this
back.
actually
That's an
happened?
entrepreneur right there.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
impressive.
and it's like-
Business.
that girl's name,
Thank
Bill
goodness they
Gates.
came back
didn't
alive.
get
$100 is
kidnapped?
$100.
Hold on a
I'd sell
second.
my
They didn't get
socks for
kidnapped.
$100.
Hold on a second. I'm imagining socks on someone's feet. Are we not talking about that?
No, that's what.
Yeah,
that's
no,
what-
socks on the feet. Like someone wanted to buy her used socks.
Yeah, an old
Wait, I just
man.
want to clarify. Is this a bad thing or a good thing?
This is terrifying. I didn't like that. Wouldn't have even been remotely an opportunity that I would have thought of as a
Selling?
12-year-old.
Would you have sold your socks for $100 when you were a teenager?
I can't answer that because I'm
Wait.
not in that mindset. I
That's a
honestly can't answer that.
That's
This
a
is-
scapegoat. The answer is yes.
playing
You
out-
would.
I don't know
That's a
because
yes. That's
I
a
don't.
yes.
I don't know if I would have. It just depends.
That's a yes.
It's
Come
like
on,
you
Chelsea.
can't.
Scarlett
It's
Johansson
too hard to
would have
answer.
sold her socks.
This is playing out in my head like a completely normal transaction, and it's hilarious.
This is perfect. We're in like this glorious like tippy top point right now. We have this great like view of our sled down that we can ride right now. Would you sell your socks for $1,000?
No.
Would you sell your socks for $10,000?
No.
Would you sell your socks for $1 million?
Yeah.
hold on. Let's back up.
Best part is, like, you know eventually it's gonna be yes. Like,
All right, do we have $1 million?
She would
in the chat,
absolutely
guys?
sell her
Let me
socks for
say,
$10,000.
the chat is against you right now. I can guarantee this.
You can
I would
contact
sell
my
us
underwear
at
for
William
$10,000.
Osman.
Well, you know what they're going to be used for.
Honestly, I think it'd be
No.
funny just to send somebody my underwear.
Actually, we need to send socks to someone who's at our house who left their socks. I washed them.
Hold on.
But let me just finish this, okay?
But
So
like, I have a job. I make money. I can pay my bills.
You got 2 jobs?
But the context was a teenager, right? Or a 12-year-old, you said? If it's 12-year-old, that's too young.
A 12-year-old.
Oh, when I was 12 years old, of course I would have for $10,000. Yeah.
Right.
what I
And if
have.
you,
But
and
I
if
don't
you-
know. The $100.
Your mom would have taken you to the post office.
What I have here.
Those are my underwear.
These are a pair of Will's underwear.
What, Kevin?
Wait,
you
what?
shouldn't be
Kevin,
showing
why-
that right
Wait, what is?
now.
Does Kevin have socks?
I do have
Are
some.
you wearing socks right
Wait,
now,
are
Kevin?
those? Wait. Are those actually William's underwear?
They are. He left them over.
Wait, show me them.
Did you wash them,
Which
or
ones
are
are
they
they?
still
Kevin.
natural?
No.
Notice how the
Oh my gosh, those are
Wait,
my
show
favorite.
the other side.
I love those.
Notice how the
chonies.
bulge on the crotch is so stretched out.
I love those chonies. They're
Because
so
you keep
pretty.
your wallet and your phone in there.
Why are they in
Just keep my
arm's
extra
reach?
pair of socks.
So,
I can
Will,
wear-
how
wear
much
more
would you
socks to
sell your underwear for? If you'd like to
Dude,
buy
I-
them, please
If
contact
somebody offered me
us.
$1,000 for my underwear, I would sell them. I'd sell them I'm not sure how I feel selling them like dirty, but I would sell somebody a clean pair of my underwear for $1,000, no questions asked.
The point that I was making was
Please
not about
contact
the
me
money.
at backyardscientistbusiness@gmail.com if you'd like to purchase.
Selling them dirty, that's
in all
a little
realness,
bit. That's,
in all realness, if you put on eBay, I'm pretty sure you'll get some bids. I bet
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, even they wouldn't even care who you were. There's just people who would just bid on like the fact that they're used and soiled.
I could
But
put a
let
little
me
squirt of, like,
let me
skunk
finish my
spray on
point.
it.
Let me finish my point. So the story you just told is exactly the point that I was trying to make. Is it really social media's fault? Because if I was in that situation, my mom would know where I'm going if I'm leaving the house. She would not let me leave if I didn't tell her X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z. So it's not. I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate. I do think there are bads about social media, but in this instance, that's a bad parenting a thing we need to
Yeah.
fix.
Yeah, bad parenting, but also like parents that are working multiple jobs, and it's just like, you know what, you're at home with your teenage brother's going to watch you. Well, he's playing video games and not watching, and you know.
Then it's the greedy
Yeah.
corporations. I win again. Raise
Because
the
like
wages,
I was at
damn it.
home. I was at
Yeah.
home with my brother alone like all the time because my mom was working full time. So it's
Yeah.
like I could have gotten away. Like I was a scared kid. I was always afraid to get in trouble, so I didn't. But like I had the opportunity.
Let me share something real quick that I just learned. It blew my mind. I was talking to someone
Okay.
that was slightly older than me, 36 or something like that, and he was telling me about when he joined the workforce. It was right before the housing bubble had crashed, and he worked like a regular. It wasn't nothing like Ivy League requirement degree or anything like that. It was just like a regular job, and his job offered healthcare. But once the housing bubble popped and the economy went to shit, they took away all those benefits, and then it recovered, and they never came back. And that's when
Yep.
I joined. I joined the workforce after the housing bubble, and like that's the only world I know. I know that if
Yeah.
you want healthcare, you have to work a good job. But it's crazy to hear like I was alive when like I could have potentially worked like a regular job and had benefits, you know.
Dude, I could go on forever about this kind of shit.
He's so lucky that he has my health insurance.
Like the fact that it's like more difficult than even spending an hour to get health insurance. Like trying to figure out how to get health insurance is such a nightmare. Like the fact that you can't just pay. Like I wish I could just in my taxes I could check a thing and it said I want some government health care. It's going to cost me this much money. I have to pay this much. Like or they don't give me a refund or whatever it is. I would do that. Like if I didn't have her insurance. Like just whatever is the easiest.
Oh yeah, right. You got to pay the penalty because it's easier to pay the
Yeah.
penalty than get. Why do we
But I-
still
but I
have to
would-
buy healthcare once a year? What is up with that?
Dude.
What's
Dude,
what?
it's
flying
and
cars.
It changes every
We're-
year. Yeah, flying cars.
I just heard a car.
Doc Brown?
Dude, it's when you start like breaking it down, people have all sorts of weird excuses, but like it just doesn't make any sense. It is purely corporate
It is.
greed and like it's purely just a mess. It is a mess. A
Hold on.
horrible mess.
Wait, I need to take the floor. Alan, you haven't spoke for a minute. I want to hear that beautiful voice. Say something.
Oh, all I want to hear is I want Chelsea to record some like a voicemail message as Scarlett Johansson, so that everyone who is hearing this will be able to like use the audio of like I'm sorry I couldn't pick up the phone. This is Scarlett Johansson. I'm too busy suing Disney. Please leave a message at the beep. Something like that. I think it'd be really nice.
I feel like Jabril just wanted to isolate your voice for some project he's working on or something.
Oh God! Oh no! He's getting samples right now.
Do your best Scarlett
Don't
Johansson
snitch on me.
impression.
I don't know how to do an impression.
You
Oh, that was
talk
good.
with your
Holy
voice.
shit,
that was
that
really
was
Talk with
good.
your normal
That was
voice,
good.
Chelsea.
That was
Oh my
amazing.
God.
That was one of the best Scarlett Johansson impressions I've ever heard in my life.
Anyway,
All right. Well, thanks for talking about the end of the world, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. This was a lot of fun.
time flies when you're having fun.
We'd like to thank today's sponsor, Jeff Bezos. Thank you, Jeff Bezos.
Thank you, Jeff.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to Jeff Bezos.
I'd like to thank some caveman dad 20,000 years ago that went out for a pack of smokes and never came back, and this is where we are now. Bad parents.
Anybody you want to thank, Jabro? Any sponsor or wait? I don't.
I want to thank the sun and the moon for
I want to
rising.
thank
We'd be
Rita
nothing.
May for getting you guys the cutest cat ever.
Thank you, Rita May.
Is this
She's
a
gonna come here in
bit?
a
Are we
second.
doing a bit now at the end of these things where we thank sponsors?
I don't know.
Or they're
I
just
think it's funny
abstract?
that they just like cut off abruptly.